Hey folks, what's going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in Total War Warhammer 2, this time with a big team battle. It's been a while since we've had one of these, and I felt like we needed one. And I have a philosophical question for you today. What is actually evil? What is actually evil in Warhammer? We always say good versus evil. Here we have the memes of good versus the supposed forces of evil. But as you watch the battle, I want you to ask yourself, what is more evil? The memes of good or the forces of evil? In any case, I think this should be a fun one for you all. Yes, it is a very memey match from the quote-unquote forces of order or good here, but anyway, I'll leave this one for you all to decide. It's pretty fun. We're going to have Ungram, and he is memeing with nothing but Slayers as his infantry. They're mixed in here, and then Gyro Bombers. That's right, Slayers and Gyro Bombers and a Slayer King. Nothing but. And then the Wood Elves are tree memeing. They have they've got some pretty funny units here. They have a tree man. They've got the Firebark Elders. They have Durthu, Treekin, and then they have Dryads up front. So a tree meme from the Elves. And then to really meme things up, we've got Teclis on his new Arcane Phoenix mount with, yes, another Arcane Phoenix, and then a Mage of Fire on a moon dragon, I believe, which is weird that it's not a sun dragon, but I do believe it's a moon dragon. Anyway, so that is the forces of meme. And like I said, I'll let you decide whether or not they are evil or truly evil. And here are the supposed forces of evil, led by the Red Duke, a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire, and the Great Gut Grom de Ponch. And if we take a look at their forces, it is a lot less memey. They have some zombies up front. They are backed up by Chosen, which is a really cool mixture, but very expensive units here. Several units of Chosen, and then some warriors with halberds. They're backed up by Graveguard with great weapons, and the Sternsman, and then yet even more Graveguard in the far back. We've got some Black Knights and Blood Knights. And then if we look here, there is an Exalted Hero supporting the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And then Grom's forces up front is Night Gobos, Goblins, Trolls, and then Orc Error Boys, and some Black Orcs in the back. So a pretty fitting Grom army. A lot of Gobos here, not entirely Gobbo. Oh, look, Grom's about to eat. Okay, here we go. This is when the battle can start, is when Grom's had his lunch. So Grom's packing it down, and it's now going to be time for the battle to get started. I mean, wow. Guy can choke down a turkey leg with the best of them. Although something's telling me that that's not a turkey leg, because that would be far too delicious of something to eat for Grom, and it really needs to have quite a bit more disgust factor to it. So this meme versus evil fight is going to be getting started quickly, as the Dryads are used to take the positional advantage here and have the downhill attack, which will be pretty important. They will quickly be backed up by Teclis's Goon Squad meme. And then here comes the Chosen. Now, Chosen should do very well, especially with all this zombie support. The biggest risk for them is getting blobbed up and then eaten alive by the memes, which obviously is a pretty big risk here. A very real risk, in fact. You can see here that the Arcane Phoenix and the Dragon chasing off the Red Duke. The Red Duke's kind of having to immediately dive in and out for cover and get out of there. And now the Sisters of Avalorn, I missed them earlier. That was part of the High Elf meme. The sisters. Here comes Durthu and a tree man, and this is actually really bad for Chaos because they've piled in with their Chosen, and Durthu and a tree man will, I mean, just utterly ruin that expensive Chaos infantry. And then you've got the sisters on top of it. Grom's forces are moving to the flank, and the Gyro memers are also moving in as well. I haven't seen them drop bombs yet, but they're using their cannons. Their cannons really aren't bad. Very nice burning head here from the Fire Mage of the High Elves. Did a lot of damage to some of these Graveguard. You can see that the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is already in trouble, but he unleashes his own burning head, it looks like. That burning head actually ends up damaging a fair few of his own troops, unfortunately, but it wasn't horrendous damage. But the Sorcerer Lord is driven out. And we can see that the forces of Meme are making their presence felt on the front line, though a lot of tough Chaos and Vampire infantry has now joined the fight. And we can see over here that the Gyro Memes are shooting the archers trying to take the Orc Error Boys out of the fight. Again, I haven't seen them drop their bombs yet, though I guess it's possible that they did it early and we missed it. We're going to see a Sword of Daith over here, which is going to be excruciating for the forces of evil. It's going to hurt really bad because there's a lot of very expensive infantry there. So Durthu is really in his element in this fight. There's no AP anti-large, and it's a lot of infantry, so he is just right at home here. And then look at this. Eesh. A Chain Lightning unleashed by Teclis, and it does a lot of damage, and it's going to go right through this blob over here, too. Yikes. What a Chain Lightning by Teclis. I mean, there's a lot of luck involved with that spell at some points because you never know where it's going to go, and everything just went right there. So Teclis got a very, very favorable cast. It was a good cast to start with because he put it on an expensive target, but then he got the favorability too. We're going to see a Ember Storm here from the Arcane Phoenix, and despite having just really solid infantry, the Treekin, Durthu, and the Tree Man made it too difficult for these Chaos and Vampire units to quickly and easily punch through the lines, and then it kept them fighting uphill too, which is just extraordinarily bad for them at the moment. See, the Gyro Memers are flying over the line. I still haven't seen a dropping of bombs per se yet. Actually, one of them has dropped bombs. I see this one's no longer carrying any. Another one has too, so there has been some bomb dropping, though we can still see the bombs attached to others. I forgot that you can look and actually see the bombs attached to the underbelly of the gyrocopter. Ungram's back here with his Slayers, holding off Grom's Black Orcs, and speaking of Grom, Grom went plowing into the main fight, and he is being pursued by the Gyro Memers. There is another Chain Lightning here. Teclis is going to double dip in this pot and hope for the best. And honestly, it's probably not going to go poorly for him. Not a lot of his own units to beat up in here, and you can see that the Gyro Bombers are actually starting to drop more bombs now as they come through here, so this is definitely going to hurt. Definitely going to hurt. And Grom is getting absolutely shellacked by the Gyro Bombers' main cannons. Their main cannons are actually fairly punishing, and they all have the, what do you call it, the suppressed effect now. It's a lot like rattling guns. It'll slow a unit down pretty considerably. So you can see Grom there being driven off the battlefield by the Gyro Memers, and we've got a fairly close battle, but there's a huge problem for the forces of the Vampires and Chaos, which is they just really don't have anything to deal with Teclis's meme squad. Dealing with Teclis on an Arcane Phoenix on any day is difficult, and on a day where he also has a Moondragon Fire Mage and another Arcane Phoenix, it's extraordinarily difficult. You see the Gyro Bomber trying to bomb these cavalry, and this Gyro Bomber still got several bombs on it as well, but it's looking like it's going to be assaulted by the Red Duke. And then with Ungram back here really healthy too, that also doesn't bode well for the forces of evil here. See the giant River Troll Hag trying to give a bag battering to Durthu, but said bag battering fails. I guess the Bag O'Carrion is not necessarily that effective when trying to fell a tree. And then the Red Duke, despite being able to damage these Gyro Bombers quite a lot, in fact, looks like he drove this one out. He's in big trouble now because he's got nowhere left to hide. And Teclis and his Arcane Phoenix are actually quite fast too. I would think that the Red Duke would have a hard time staying in front of them, indefinitely. And then you also have the Gyro Bombers flying around, which are also fairly quick units. I do believe the Duke is faster than the Bombers. And somehow he manages to squeeze out of that fight. That, in and of itself, is a pretty impressive feat. Probably near miraculous, actually. Do have a few Chosen here, still fighting on, along with a few Gabo infantry. And they are taking on what's left of some Slayers there. We saw one getting beheaded. A few Wolf Riders, and then there's some Blood Knights here. Blood Knights could be really important here to try and help get rid of Durthu, but I don't think there's enough of them to get rid of Teclis and two very healthy Phoenix and a Dragon. So at this point, it's looking like the meme team is going to overcome the forces of evil, but like I said, Evil is sometimes in the eye of the beholder, folks. I'm guessing that chaos, vampires, and greenskins have a very different view of what evil looks like as they get hit by the extreme meme team. That's one of the things I love about these team battles, though, is you just never know what you're going to get. I tell you what would be fun, actually, in one of these team battles. I'm wanting to play one of these here soon. I want to do one with my viewers where we have a no artillery team battle. And I don't believe there was actually any artillery in this one either. But the no artillery ones could get interesting. But in some ways, the artillery is kind of an important way to control goon squads and other stuff, depending on the type of artillery, obviously. But yeah, this was a big, messy fight, and one that is definitely going to swing in favor of the memes this time. So even though it's a meme, doesn't mean that you're always out of business from the get-go. Sometimes memes are actually powerful, not always just a meme. See over here the tree man suffering pretty badly to some knights with lances and some blood knights. There's even some stone trolls moving in, but pretty amazing how, without all the AP, you know, this tree man can endure a lot of damage, a whole lot of damage. You're gonna see that got a mither here. That'll help, and then a spirit leech, so that tree man will now start to fall apart. You can see that Chosen's still fighting away here, so the battle definitely not over. But again, the big problem here is how do you stop the goon squad? And you just don't at this point. They just own you. But you can see that the remaining Chosen easily shutting down the gyrocopters and the remnants of the infantry. The tree man is put to rout. But here comes the main event. You do have the Red Duke over here and some bats. If they could come pin these units in combat, get the halberds in here, then we'd be talking about some serious damage. But you still got to deal with terror. And unless the Red Duke is over here supporting leadership, yep, there you go, terror. Already hit the trolls. Already hit the wolf riders. The Blood Knights leadership is suffering. We'll see whether the Red Duke can get over here. I just don't think they're going to be able to hold enough units in this fight for long enough to hurt the goon squad over here. I mean, the halberds will certainly help, but they're already damaged. The trolls are coming back. Blood Knights are getting shellacked. The Knights with lances are getting shellacked, so this was kind of a last stand here, and it's not looking great. And on top of that, it looks like Teclis is going to send in a fiery convocation. Indeed he is. So all the more the leadership is going to suffer for the forces of evil here as they make a valiant attempt to down the goon squad, but the terror rout is just too real. Chaos just does not stand up well to terror routs unless they have some very key units around to help protect from it. And they did get a little bit of work done against 3 very powerful units, but it wasn't enough. And we saw the crumbling there of the Red Duke and the rout of the remaining Chaos forces. We just have these the single Gobbo here. He's not scared. Still not scared. Gotta love the resolve of those Gobbos. In any case, we've got Split Pixel, Reezery, and a boy, Young C, Man Soldier, and Lord of Cats. Thanks for sending this one in. I know this one is, you know, a bit of fun, very memey, but I thought you all would like it. And, you know, I kind of like mixing stuff like this in. I do have some very fun single-player matches coming up soon. I had Regina send me some more, and then I also got some from Console of Rome, who's been a member of my channel for a long time, and so I've got some fun 1v1 gameplays coming up. I haven't played a ton of multiplayer recently, and some people may be wondering why. It's because I've been also trying to focus on getting some other content out, like finishing up campaigns, doing some historical content, and so I do intend to play some multiplayer with my community. Like I said, I think my next one, I'm probably going to do a no artillery big team battle, because I know sometimes people feel like that the artillery kind of just takes those battles over. Some people like the artillery, some people don't. I just think it'll be fun. Anyway, we're going to do that, and then I've also got some other plans and some other games coming up. But again, that's why I'm not playing as much multiplayer myself, because I'm just trying to get a bigger variety of content out, and with multiplayer replays being submitted by the community, it kind of allows me to focus my time bringing some other content while they can help bring this content. So it doesn't mean that I no longer like multiplayer or no longer play it. It's just really more of a play on time for me, which is how do I get the most done in the time that I have allotted, which is always limited, unfortunately, since I can't be a full-time YouTuber, but doing my best here. So fun play by Split Pixel here. I mean, this is pretty much a perfect tree elf meme here. And then same thing with Reezery. I mean, I don't know how this army gets any memeier. He's done a fantastic job of that. And then the same thing with the high elves. These armies are memes for days. Young C, Man Soldier, and Lord of Cats, my hat is tipped to you for having to face such a terrifying army. And yeah, hats off to you for having to face up this. We can see that the vampires did a good job of screening and trying to support here. The cavalry was alive till the end and trying to make the difference. I don't know how the Red Duke stayed alive that long. Young C, kudos to you. Man Soldier was in a tough position. He was working on outflanking. He kind of needed to help support the center, but if he went into the center, he's just going to get hit by chain lightnings and fiery convocations. So it's kind of a catch-22. By going out on that flank and engaging all of the dwarf memes, he gets bogged down, but at the same time, had he gone to the center, he probably would have just gotten, shellacked by breath spells and vortex spells. And then Lord of the Cats here. I love all the Chosen. Just kind of a meme. Kind of, I guess. Not as much of a meme, though, probably with Chaos. But fun units, actually, and could have potentially been really good here when you look at who their opponents were. But it just didn't work out because of what they came up against. But I like the way he mixed in the Chosen to be supported by the vampires. That is a potentially nice combination there, having all of the stuff to kind of tank for the Chosen and let them come in and do the damage. So cool army by Lord of the Cats. Anyway, appreciate the replay that these folks sent in. Like I said, I'll be back with some more action. Eltharion campaign coming back soon. Grom campaign continuing, historical Total War continuing. We've got a lot of stuff coming your way, folks, and I even have some other content that I'm trying to fit in here too, so be patient with me, and I'll have plenty of videos coming your way. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I will see you soon.